I'm starting from 1 going down to 10 because 10 is the real kicker. 1, 2, and 3, the Dollars trilogy, of course. Fistful of Dollars, $2 More, and Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which he says is his absolute favorite movie and the greatest achievement in the history of cinema. Number 4 is Day of Anger by Tonino Valerie, and he says another favorite spaghetti western with Lee Van Cleef. One-Eyed Jacks is number 5.
It would have been so interesting to have seen Stanley Kubrick's version of One-Eyed Jacks. So
that would have been. Number 6 is something that I want to see because I'm a huge Burt Reynolds fan, and I've never seen this one because it's only his second movie, I think. But Navajo Joe, Sergio Corbucci.
I have that on Netflix. I gotta watch that. It's the music, though. You know, the music when Bill, you know, it's really interesting. The music from that,
it's that whistle
is when
thing,
Bill is gonna
right?
die. When Bill gets the 5 punch exploding thing. Yeah.
Well, it's the whistle thing, right?
No, the whistle thing is from Bernard Herrmann in I forget, Twisted Nerve.
Oh, okay, all right. So Navajo Joe, I think, doesn't that have like?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I remember they used it in Election of all things.
That's right, they do. Yeah.
Number 7, Hellbenders, another Corbucci film. So he really loves Corbucci. And
he's writing a book. Where is this book he was writing on him?
Oh, well, I think he's saving his book writing for when he retires.
Okay.
He's written a lot of books. He's actually written several books, including one on George Roy Hill. But but he's releasing them once he retires, I think. But he's already written some books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? He wrote one on George Roy Hill? I want to get that.
Oh, yeah, he's writing all these books, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Number 8, Winchester 73. Well, that's got to be on the list. Anthony Mann, Stewart, got to be there. Number 9 is his movie that he says has a sister kinship to Django Unchained. It's Arthur Penn's Little Big Man from 1970 with Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
And let me ask one thing before you go to number 10. What is the Western, the cult classic with Joan Crawford, and it's considered like a suppressed
Johnny Guitar.
Lesbian thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's it. And finally, number 10, drum roll please. It's not Unforgiven. It's not Outlaw Josie Wales. It's Dances with Wolves. Dances with Wolves.
Really?
He thinks that's the best Western made in the past 30 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
It's funny. The original Django and A Great Silence are not mentioned on there, and yet those have been films that he swears by. Wow.
Mm. Well, you know what's interesting about his love of Westerns and just himself in general is he's come out against John Ford because he feels that John Ford treated the Native Americans badly in his movies, and so he doesn't like those movies. He thinks they're terrible, and so he just throws John Ford into the garbage. And that says a lot because, instead of, because, we did fight Indians during the West. That happened. So,
well, it's interesting because Clint Eastwood did the same thing when he was making the spaghetti westerns, He wrote a letter to John Wayne.
But here's the thing. He likes spaghetti westerns because what spaghetti westerns do is they just erase the presence of Indians completely.
Yeah, that's true.
It's more than just that. I mean, he thinks that John Ford was an out-and-out racist. I mean, he goes back to his involvement as a Klansman in Birth of a Nation. Yeah.
Well, I used to think that too, but the Searchers, Stagecoach, I mean, there's some really important, and let's be honest, he may hate John Ford, but he uses those door shot scenes from the Searchers in Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah. And he did, John Ford, I don't know anything about his quote-unquote racist past or whatever, but John Ford also made movies about the Trail of Tears.
He tried to redeem himself. He felt bad. He did try to in his life. I remember this. people talking about this in film classes, he did try to make amends for that.
Yeah, and I mean, Sergeant Rutledge, which is a great lead performance by Woody Strode, his only really lead performance, I think. I'm not sure about that, but...
well, and Intolerance is Griffith's apology for Birth of a Nation. I mean, everybody was apologizing for that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you can't ignore John Ford. You can't. I mean, there's some very important film work done there, and I think that's interesting.
Well, I mean, I look again. I don't even care about somebody's past or whatever. I can't think of one director or one star that I put on my shit list where I'm never going to watch anything they ever do again because I don't like their politics and I don't,
Yeah, I mean, we'd be shit out of luck for some of the guys that we like. I mean,
yeah. I just assume that they're all terrible in one way or another out there, It's just like, so it's like, what am I going to get on my moral high horse? No, it's all about the movie.
No, of course.
So it's like, if it's all about the movies, then John Ford movies are fantastic. I don't care what he has to say.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You can't throw out The Searchers. You can't throw out any of those films. They're very important. They're great films.
And, yeah. It's ridiculous the number.
If it wasn't for Stagecoach, we might not have a lot of movies. I mean,
I don't think we'd have Susan Kane if we didn't have Stagecoach. That was the one movie that Orson Welles, ran over and over and over again in preparation for Susan Kane.